Yeah.
Tank is one of the most interesting fighters to watch because he's so different. His style is so different. You know, he's so economical. Like, he puts pressure on guys without throwing too many punches, and then starts to figure holes out. And the way he can explode and move in with one shot, my God.
Yeah, he very explosive. He's very explosive, and, you know, man, he be cracking them dudes. Hey, he be putting them to sleep.
Just cracking people.
Don't dump it on me, yo.
I'm not getting challenge.
Where would you get this from, man?
Ain't no jumping out there. When Joe Rogan saw Gervonta Tank Davis's newly bulked up physique ahead of the Jake Paul fight, you could practically hear that classic Rogan tone kick in. Part amazement, part scientific analysis. The kind where he starts dissecting every muscle fiber, talking about fast twitch strength, explosiveness, and how Tank's frame looks completely transformed.
I'm a giant Gervonta fan. I think that guy's so unusual.
Yeah.
His style's so unusual, and his like patience.
Yes.
Yeah. He finds these openings and he sees them, but he doesn't go after them right away. He waits for the right time. He's so patient.
Right.
Like, when you watch the early rounds of his fights, he's like at a world champions that are competing today at the highest level. He probably has the lowest punch count in the early rounds.
Yeah.
Because he just wait, but he also knows he's got that nuclear option that if he can crack you, most likely he's going to take you out. He's got massive confidence in that.
On his podcast, Joe didn't waste time.
On his podcast, Joe didn't waste a second sugarcoating it. Watching Tank's latest training clips, he blurted out, "Dude looks like he's been forged in a powerlifting lab." And he's not wrong. Tank's shoulders are popping, his traps sitting high like a bull ready to charge, and his whole frame looks way thicker than what we saw before the Ryan Garcia fight. Rogan broke it all down in classic Joe Rogan fashion, diving into biomechanics, torque, and fast twitch power. He explained how that added mass might not slow Tank down at all. In fact, it could make him even more explosive, boosting the torque in his hips and the velocity behind every punch.
Interesting, right? Like, you don't know whether someone's ever going to be able to figure that out or whether or not he's just going to keep cracking people.
Yeah.
You know, so it's part of the fun of watching it. I've talked to a lot of like real boxing purists. It's like, you can't rely on that style.
Right.
He's got to be busier. When he gets to the best guys, it's not going to work out. Like, well, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see, because there's...
The Real highlight came when Joe Rogan compared Tank to a smaller version of Mike Tyson with the advantage of modern training, saying he's built to destroy, not just outbox opponents. Rogan even took a playful shot at Jake Paul, saying, "If Jake thinks this Tank is coming in to win on points, he's out of his mind. This guy's coming to end it early." You could tell Rogan admires Tank's work ethic and transformation. He said this isn't just an improved Tank Davis, it's Tank Davis unleashed.
You know, he got the skills, the power, he got that ring IQ to do good, but we haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, he's also wild. He's a wild fella, so he's fun to watch. You know, he's just a crazy dude. You know?
Yeah, coming from Baltimore, man, I think that's just his upbringing as well. You know, product of his own environment.
Yes, for sure. He's just so unique in his approach. Like, you know, he doesn't fight like anybody else.
After Joe Rogan went off about Tank's new size and basically dubbed him a mini Mike Tyson on steroids, Wade Plemons jumped in with his own breakdown, and things got even more interesting. You could tell this wasn't just hype. They were mapping out a real strategy. Calvin Ford was in the corner like a mad scientist with a clipboard, studying every tiny habit and weak spot in Jake Paul's game. This isn't casual training. It's Tank fine-tuning every move, analyzing every angle, and getting into a mindset where the only possible outcome is total domination.
Least serious you take Jake, and I've said this about everybody that's fought him, the ones that don't take him serious, the ones that say he's a YouTuber and everything else, they end up losing, or they end up looking like, oh, wait a second, this guy was a little better than I thought. They end up either getting taken by surprise or actually sometimes losing because they don't realize that Jake actually takes it serious. So this is good to hear. Just already right off the rip, they were already doing something.
Surprise. So tell me, you know, when did you hear about this?
They've been going back and forth for years, Tank and Jake. They've been going at it for years, and it would have happened sooner. You know what I'm saying? But we have hiccups.
Tank's plan is brutal and methodical. He isn't just doing conditioning work. He's focused on the body to slow Jake down and make every step forward costly, chipping away at his movement and power. The footage shows Tank bigger, stronger, quicker, and sharper tactically. Calvin Ford isn't encouraging wild punches. He's mapping out a precise game plan to exploit weaknesses and punish reach. This training looks like a calculated effort to turn size into a liability for Paul and force him to pay for every inch of distance he thinks he owns.
It's targeting the body, and it's the best thing that Tank could do for this fight. I mean, trying to go headshot for headshot with Jake Paul when he's probably 7 inches taller than he is. I'm assuming he's going to have a bit of a reach, even though Tank has a kind of freakish reach for his height. I don't think that's a great idea. And again, you're at eye level with Jake's belly button damn near. So you're going to have to be able to land shots right there on the waistline. And it's probably the best idea if you actually want to knock Jake out in this fight, if you actually want a game plan, because again, it's an exhibition, but if you want a game plan to get him out of there, you have to attack.
I can already picture it. Tank ripping body shots in combination. Jake's guard dropping lower each round as fatigue sets in and openings start to appear. If Tank lands clean like that, it won't just wear Jake down. It'll completely shift the fight's momentum. What's wild is everyone keeps calling this an exhibition, but the training footage says otherwise. Tank's approaching it like a world title bout. With Calvin Ford in his corner, fear isn't a weakness, it's a weapon. So buckle up, because this isn't Tank performing for cameras or Netflix. This is Tank preparing for a full-scale takeover, ready to expose every weakness Jake's been hiding.
Ridiculously hard for Tank to actually knock Jake out. That's like 70-pound difference, 60-pound difference. That means something. And Jake's not some guy that's never thrown punches. He's a relative novice when it comes to, skill level that Tank has, but still, he knows how to protect himself. And again, his body structure allows for some mistakes to happen that he wouldn't have to pay for like he would if he was 135 pounds. Point being, I would be impressed, if Tank knocked him out cold or dropped.
And just when Calvin Ford's raw honesty had everyone talking, Lamont Roach Sr. came in swinging with business talk instead of punches. He called out GervontaDavis for skipping a rematch and heading straight to Netflix, saying, "Forget honor, I'm chasing algorithms." And honestly, he's not wrong. This Jake Paul fight feels like boxing took a wild detour into YouTube territory. Try explaining that to an old-school fan. Yeah, man, Tank Davis is fighting the guy who used to pull pranks at Target.
A lot of people say, oh, money this and money that, but you gotta do business the right way. You know what I'm saying? You got guys on that other side, especially fighters, that take time out of their life, train, you know what I'm saying, get their coaches, sparring partners, they go different places, travel. They invest a lot of times in their career, and it's a lot. So, when they get back, they get news like that, you know what I'm saying, it does not receive well, so. But we solid, we're gonna stand 10 toes down, man, and we're gonna see what's next.
But here's the funny part. Roach didn't sugarcoat a thing. He said you can't just ditch business deals and chase bigger paydays, and honestly, he's got a point. If Tank really skipped that rematch to fight Jake Paul, it's like bailing on the NBA Finals to play in a celebrity 3-on-3 game. Sure, the paycheck's nice, but your legacy's giving you the side eye. And let's be real, Jake Paul can punch, but Tank's built like a compact explosion with gloves. This isn't about clout or content, it's about consequences. If Jake walks in thinking this is another influencer exhibition, he's about to find out the hard way that Tank doesn't do collabs, he ends careers.
And Jake Paul, some people feel, well, Jake Paul is this big heavyweight that punches hard, and Tank's gonna find out, I mean, do you feel like this is going to be an actual real fight just underneath the term exhibition? And do you see the fight playing out when someone gets hurt?
I don't even want to talk on that fight, me. So I can care less about what it is. It's an exhibition, man. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing. He ducked that work.
Yeah.
He ducked that work.
He ducked that work. And right after Lamont Roach Sr. called out Tank for breaking basic business rules, his son, Lamont Roach Jr., lit up the situation like someone who's done staying quiet. He said what everyone's been thinking. Tank didn't just skip the rematch, he swerved straight into the Jake Paul circus like it was Coachella. And honestly, Roach nailed it. Imagine grinding your whole life for a world title, only to watch the guy who beat you sign up for an influencer showdown where the main topic is glove size. You could feel Roach's frustration. He wanted a real fight, not to see Tank chasing clicks and Netflix headlines.
Rematch fight versus Gervonta after this fight?
Who knows? He said he's retiring. I believe him. Honestly, I think he's scared. So If he's going to retire, I believe he's going to retire.
You think he'll retire after the exhibition match?
I think so.
Why do you say that?
Because we get scared.
And look, I get it. The Jake Paul fight is dripping with money, flashing dollar signs like a Vegas slot machine. But legacy doesn't live on TikTok. If Tank's really planning to retire after this, it's like a superhero quitting mid-series because the merch sold out. Jake's 200 pounds of content creation and Tank's a human missile. This fight will either end in minutes or become the biggest marketing stunt since Logan boxed a weather app. Either way, boxing's officially gone from HBO drama to YouTube reality TV. But let's be honest, we're all still tuning in, because when Tank Davis steps in with Jake Paul, you just know something viral, violent, and very, very expensive is about to happen.
Going on the Jake Paul and Gervonta fight, the weight, the ounces on the gloves, 12 ounce, and then, you know, Calvin was asking to get the 10s. What do you think about that? And people who don't understand that.
I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about their fight per se. Like, I really don't care. I don't care about.
Here's where it gets crazy. This fight feels less like a boxing match and more like a social experiment in real time. You've got Jake Paul, the internet's chaos king, stepping up against GervontaDavis, a fighter molded in Baltimore's toughest gyms. It's influencer culture versus pure fighter mentality, the algorithm versus the art. And truth is, both men need this. Jake's chasing legitimacy, and Tank's chasing legacy beyond the boxing world. It's two realities colliding to see which one breaks first. But here's the hot take. If Tank lands clean, that's not just a knockout. It's a cultural reset, the moment boxing takes the internet back from influencers. But if Jake hangs in there, even pushes Tank to the later rounds, we could be witnessing the rise of the most hated success story in combat sports. Either way, this isn't just a fight. It's a battle for who controls the spotlight next.
Jake Paul is good enough where people say, oh, he's terrible. Jake Paul is not a world-class fighter. I don't care how a person feel about that. Fighters that started in their formative years, like we did, 8, 9, 10, we got too much time in. Jake will never catch up to that. He'll never catch up to that. We just got too much.
Jake's never catching up. There's just too much experience separating them. One's chasing greatness, the other's chasing validation, but both are putting everything on the line. When those gloves touch, it won't just be a fight. It'll be the moment boxing finds out if authenticity still beats the algorithm. Either Tank's about to remind the internet what real power looks like, or Jake's about to pull off the biggest shock since McGregor versus Mayweather. So what do you think? Does Tank drop Jake faster than hotel Wi-Fi? Or is Jake actually built to handle that Baltimore smoke? Drop your thoughts below, debate it, roast it, defend it. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Headquarters, where the takes are real, the talk's wild, and nothing's off limits. See you in the next one.